So what today we will do?
Mm.
Just a minute. Last day in Python we have done what we have done last day exception handling I think. Hmm? Exception handling.
Python, huh?
Yeah,
Huh.
last day we have done. We are in module 4. Exception handling. We have completed last day. Now today we will do file handling. Okay. So our today's topic is file handling. Now what is basically file handling? What do you understand by file handling? First, that should be discussed. What is file handling? Okay.
Mm.
So basically, what is a file? Means
आपका स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हुआ है.
is it?
हाँ.
So file handling we will do today. File handling
Mm.
in Python. Now basically, what is a file? Okay. See, while we are running a program, okay, we deal with lots of data in a program.
Mm.
So when a program is running on computer, basically all the things are happening on a memory called RAM that you all know. Okay.
Yes.
So every variable you used
Mm.
in that program, if you want to store some temporary data, so everything, every memory used when a program is running, that is from RAM. Now, what happened if you want to store some data, okay, or information, means information in forms of data permanently as an output of this program, okay, as an
Uh,
output of this program, if you want to store some data permanently so that later you can use those data for some other purpose, uh, then what you have to do, okay, you can do that thing in two ways. One thing is you can use database, okay, so
mm.
inside database you can store the data, okay, just like you create a student database where you
Mm.
take input the student details. You can create employee database where you store the information about employees or anything, okay. So one solution to store the data permanently
Isn't
is to send the data to some database,
database.
okay. Now there are some data which need to be stored in database, okay, but there are
Mm.
also some data which we do not require to store it in database because database has a specific type of format. So to store the database, to store the data in database, you have to do lots of things. You have to format the database, you have to format the data, format your data, structure your data. You have to apply the database language just like SQL, okay. Maybe in next class, that will be our last class, we will do database application using Python. So there
Mm-hmm.
you will see that you have to do lots of things when you want to store the data in a database.
In a
But
database.
suppose you are a writer, okay, and you want to create your own application in Python, so that whenever you write something, means your articles, okay, you want to store it
Mm.
somewhere. So storing article, database is not a very good idea to store those articles inside the database, okay. So
Mm.
for that purpose, to store that kind of data which are not structured, okay, or
Descriptive
maybe a,
data.
semi-structured data, okay, that to be stored in something called file. Now somebody may argue that if he has the knowledge of database, that if you store the data in database, then also somehow those are stored as files. That is a different
Mm.
issue. Okay, I am not
Mm.
going that far. Okay, so even in
Mm.
database, the data were stored in terms of files. Okay, now
Mm.
one thing is common in both the cases. That is, whenever you want to store the data permanently, you need to go to some permanent storage device, right?
Correct.
You want to go to some permanent storage device like hard disk
Hard disk.
or SD, okay,
Mm.
or maybe some other things, tapes or anything. So permanent storage device you need to consider when you want to store the data permanently.
Mm.
Okay. So if you want to store the data permanently in any form of storage media, you have to create something called file. File is the entity, basic
Which
entity,
can
which
yeah,
stores the data.
data
Maybe it is in structured format like in database, maybe
unstructured.
it is in unstructured format like in file.
Mm.
So sometimes in earlier days we called these files as flat files. Flat
Mm-hmm.
files. Okay. Now, mm, uh, when an application, suppose you create an application, Python application, okay, that Python application is actually sending some data to this kind of files and maybe taking some data from these kind of files. These
Mm-hmm.
type of operations
Mm.
in programming languages are called as file handling. Got it?
Yes.
So file handling is a set of tasks which deals with the flat files, not the database
Mm.
actually, right?
Mm.
So our today's discussion on file handling, basically we will deal with the flat files. Just a minute. Just a minute. So you get an idea now what is called file
Yes.
handling basically. So
Yes.
database handling
Yes.
and
Yes.
file handling are two different things. Even though I am telling you that database, even you want to store the data in database, you need to. So even if you want to store data in database, you need some means in database. Data was also stored in forms of file. Okay, but we
Yes.
are not considering that thing here.
That
So
file.
file handling
Mm.
is basically a flat file handling. Okay,
Okay.
here in Python.
Mm.
Now these files straightforward we can divide the two files in two basic category. One is your text file,
Mm.
okay. Another is your binary file.
Image, sound, anything kind of files,
Huh?
right?
Sorry.
Image or sound files will be in the
Yeah,
form of
text file
binary
are
files.
something that you have been created using the notepad in Windows.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm.
all the text are written in ASCII format. Okay, which is easily readable by using any text reader. So those are called text file. Usually the text file has extension .txt.
TXT. Mm.
Okay, and there are some files. Those are called binary file. Binary files are basically more structured file than text file. Okay, Uh, so see, when you store the data in memory, RAM. Okay,
Mm.
so it follows certain structure to store those
Mm.
data, or say some. Suppose I am giving you an example. Suppose you are writing something. in Word. Okay,
Mm.
in Word, MS Word, Microsoft Word. Okay,
Mm.
so when you are writing something on Microsoft Word, maybe you insert some images or something like that. So all these things, when you are preparing that file, when you are creating that file, it will have an impression over on the RAM, right?
Mm.
Okay. So if you want to store the content of this file as it is in RAM, so you need to create a binary file. So inside a binary file, you will get the pattern, okay, of the data
Mhm.
just that was in the RAM when it was actually constructed. Okay.
Mhm.
So in binary file, you have a direct image of the content of RAM. You can say that how
Mhm.
the data or the content of a file is represented on RAM, uh, that is stored in binary files. Okay,
Okay.
and binary files can be of different types. Okay, so Word, MS Word, image file,
Mhm.
that movie files. Okay, those are
Mm.
all a type of binary files. Okay, so binary
Okay.
files have some more specific format than text file. Text file are simple files where the contents are written in ASCII
And
format.
not in it.
Okay, so some general extension for binary files are just like doc file, PDF file. These are all you can consider them as a binary file. But
Mm.
.dat, .bin, so these are all popular extensions of binary files. Okay, so when you are going to do file handling using any programming language, you will face two different types of files. One is your text file, another is your binary
Fine.
file.
Binary.
Text file comes with usually .txt format, and a binary file comes with .bin, .dat, something like that, that kind of format. On the Word file, PowerPoint file, image file, these are all you can consider them in the group of binary files. Okay, one more type of file I will discuss here to give you an introduction, that is called CSV file, .csv file.
Okay.
So
Excel.
it's
That
not
one
Excel file,
file.
actually this is comma
Uh,
separated value
comma separated.
file. Okay,
Yes.
so from comma
Delimited
separated
separated.
value.
Correct.
So I will
Mm.
discuss a little bit of CSV file at the end of this class. Okay, so that will be
Mm.
our last topic of this class. Okay, so next we will see how to deal with a file. Basically, let me tell you one thing. See, understand this thing. When you are working, when a program is running, so everything is happening on RAM. No? Everything is
Huh.
happening on RAM. So when you are creating a file, okay, when you are creating a file, basically you are doing that thing on mm, in RAM. Okay, when you are creating a file, you are doing that thing on RAM. Okay,
Mm.
so everything has been done here. When you close this file, so it will be transferred to the respective location in hard disk
Mm.
somewhere, respective in some drive, in some directory. This file will be stored. Okay,
Oh.
this thing we called file write. Got it. So there
Huh.
are two basic operations in file handling. This
Read
kind
and
of
write.
flat file handling. Okay.
Mm.
So one is your write. Write means output. You are
Mm.
sending the data. You are sending the content from RAM. RAM you can consider as system.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So you are sending the data from RAM to
Hard disk.
outside RAM, means
Mm.
the secondary storage. Okay.
Location. Mm.
So for that purpose, your operation will be write. Okay.
Mm.
Now suppose you want to read the content of this file. That means you have to
Mm.
bring the content, whatever was written over there,
Fetching
into
the
your RAM,
details.
because
Mm.
in system everything will be done via RAM. If you want to write
Mm.
something, you have to write it on RAM. If you want to display something, you have to put it on RAM. Okay. So if you want to read the content of this file, then you have to bring the content inside the RAM. Okay. So here the content will appear, and from here you can send it to your display unit or printer,
Mm.
some output devices, right?
Mm.
And the content comes here from input devices like keyboards, okay, or some scanner. So from input devices, the content comes inside a RAM, and from RAM, by using write
Goes to.
operation, you are sending the content to storage, secondary storage.
Mm.
The reverse is from
Read.
secondary storage, you are bringing the content in RAM, okay, and from RAM you are
Mm.
sending the data to output devices, right?
Mm.
So this operation is basically called read. So these are the two basic operation in file handling.
Mm.
We will learn both of them: how to read a
Okay.
file, how to write a file,
Write the
how to
file.
read binary file, how to read text file and write binary text, everything. Now, to do read and write operation with a file,
Mm.
one thing is common, that is you need to open a file.
Okay.
Okay, for example purpose, see, uh, say, mm, suppose this is a file, this is a file.
Mm.
So adder.docx. So clearly this is a Word file. Okay.
Mm.
Now tell me, this is the name of the file.
Mm.
Okay. Where it is actually located. Now when I am running this presentation in my laptop, okay, this thing is residing currently on the RAM, right?
Yes.
But not this file. Okay. This file is not opened. Okay, it is just the
Mm.
name that is showing here. See here, you can see
Correct.
the link over there,
Left.
G study co notes. That means
Mm.
it is somewhere in the
In the
G
G drive.
drive under the folder
Mm.
study and co notes, right?
Mm.
Now if I double click on it, then what will happen? A certain program will run behind it, and it will go to
Transfer the
that
content.
part of the hard disk and
Mm.
fetch the content from there and load
Mm.
those content on the RAM.
On the RAM. Mm.
Okay. After loading
Mm.
that content, those content will be sent to the display unit. That means this monitor. Then we
Monitor.
will see the data, see the content,
Mm.
they see the file. This
Yes.
operation altogether is called opening a file. Sorry,
Reading the file.
not opening a file,
Reading.
reading a
Mm.
file. Okay, but
Mm.
when I am double clicking on this icon,
Mm.
double clicking on this link, first thing what happened, it is actually
Open.
opening a file.
Mm.
After opening, it is actually fetching the content. Okay,
Mm.
so what do you mean by opening a file? Basically it is an arrangement so that the content from the hard disk can be come into the RAM, so that RAM
Mm.
can accommodate the data, RAM can accommodate the content that are
Mm.
coming. Okay, so opening a file means that arrangement, that process. Okay, are
Mm.
you getting the thing?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it is
Because
clear.
you need to understand this thing. Something is depending on this concept.
Mm.
The hard disk is there, there is a file. Okay, your RAM is
Mm.
here. Okay, now you want to read this file. Okay, what will happen? So first operation is your open.
mm,
Now open means what? Open means maybe something like that. You are creating a channel, just like this. You are creating a channel.
yes.
Okay, a pipeline.
Mm,
You can take consider this thing as a pipeline. Okay,
mm,
and making a same space here so
to
that
open the
all
file
the content can be accommodated here.
in the RAM and we can see the
Okay,
file content.
so file opening means this thing open. So
Mm,
this is basically open. Now then, what
mm,
is read? Read is the next step,
mm-hmm. It will fetch the content on that.
right? Read is the next step. Number two operation is read. Okay,
Mm,
so when you call the read function, this is basically a function. The data
mm.
is starting flowing in this direction and coming here.
Loading
You
into
got it?
RAM. Yes.
So there is a clear difference between open and so every time you read a
Mm,
file, you first
mm.
have to open it.
Open it.
You got it?
Okay. Yes, yes.
So that is the difference between reading and opening. Maybe we did not notice the thing in that way because suppose you have something here. You have a file. You have a notepad file here. Okay. So say this is PDF file. So when you are
Mm.
double clicking, this PDF file actually get
Opens.
opened. So
Ah.
by means of calling that the file is open, we did means two things has been happened. One is file has been opened, that means that path
And,
has been created, and
and
the
read the
reading is
content.
also done.
Mm,
You got it? So there are two
mm.
operations. The same thing happen in case of writing also. Okay, the writing, it is reversed. So you have to open.
From RAM to hard disk, it will move and close the file.
So when you have to write into a file, so
Mm,
data started flowing into this direction. You
mm,
got it?
mm,
So this is your write operation.
mm,
And one last thing, that is your close. Whenever you open a file, you need to close it. Okay,
mm,
close the file. Now, what is closing? Closing a file means you are actually disconnecting this path and you are also deallocating this thing. Okay,
mm,
so closing a file means actually closing this path. This path. When this path
mm,
is closed, when this path is discarded, this allocation automatically get discarded.
mm.
Got it? So
Yes.
these are the four basic operations that you need to do. So first, what you need to open a file.
Open,
Okay.
read,
So if you want to perform a read, then you can give a read operation. If you want to perform a write, then you it
write.
means either read or write.
Mm,
So open and close is must. In
mm.
between, you can read or write anything. Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Mm,
স্যার রাইট অপারেশনটা একটু আরেকবার বলবেন?
Huh. Write means suppose here see when I am drawing something using my mouse, I'm drawing something, right?
ওকে,
See, I'm drawing something. Okay, now what happened if I close this windows now? If I close this window, okay, and I am not saving this thing, so this thing will be disappeared, this thing will not be saved. Okay, so to save the thing, so save this drawing, I need to click on this button. Okay, so when I click on this button, what is happening actually,
mm,
whatever data I have painted here, that will start flowing into this direction. When I am drawing this thing, actually I am drawing here on RAM, primary memory. Okay, it is not sent to the hard disk. And if we do not send the item to the hard disk, so data will not be stored permanently. You should know
Yes.
that. Okay, so if you want to store some data permanently, then you have to send the data to the hard disk. Okay, so if I click on the save button, what will happen? This data means whatever I have done here, this data will be sent to the hard disk. Okay, and the thing will get saved. So write operation basically send the data from RAM to hard disk. Read operation bring the data from hard disk to RAM. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So continuing the discussion from there. See here. This is the syntax. Open, and you have to give. These are the two parameters that you must set to open a file. First one is your file name. Second one is your mode, file mode. You can open a file in different modes. Now, what is actually file mode? What do you mean by file mode? See, file name and file mode are two positional argument. That means you at least you need to give these two argument to open a file. Okay. So these are the different modes. See, these are the different modes. How can you open a file? Okay. Now here you need to specify the name of the file, which file you want to do some operation, whether you want to read or write something. Now in case of mode, you have to specify the purpose of opening that file. So if you specify R, then it will understand, okay, the file has been opened for read purpose. Got it? If you want to open a file for writing purpose, so you have to give W. Okay, so these are the different opening options for which you want to open a file object. Okay, so this open will what it will do, it will create a file object fobj. That is a variable name I have given fobj. You can give anything. Okay, I will demonstrate everything to you now. uh, Here, see, fobj, you consider this thing fobj. So when you are using open, so it will create a file object, and I am giving a name of that object as fobj. Now what is fobj? In my drawing, this is your fobj, this one. Okay, fobj, this is your fobj, means this is your file object, the path, you can say, the stream, the channel. This is your file object. Through this, you are actually communicating with hard disks in a particular area, and with RAM. Okay,
Hmm.
so this channel is your file object, and this is being created by this function open. Okay, so when you give the name of the file here, so this will be the name of the file. Okay, so this channel is attached with that file. Okay, now you have to mention whether you want to read from the file or write. So in that way, you can say that if you want to open this object for reading purpose, so something will happen like that. Okay, you can consider this thing as a valve, so that data can come from this to this direction. If you want to create the file object for writing purpose, so maybe you can consider this thing as like this. It's just like a valve, so that data can move from this direction, from this to this direction, right? Anyway, let me demonstrate something so that idea will get cleared. To demonstrate the thing, what I will do, I will open ideally. See here, say f is equal to, okay, let me write a complete program, no problem. So I'm writing a program. F equal to that f obj, okay, f obj equal to open, and inside open I'm just creating a file. Okay, so I'm giving the name of the file as test.txt, and I want to perform write operation for that file. So this is the syntax how you have to open a file for writing a text file. We are doing text file operation. Okay, so first let me save it, save the file to the directory, specified directory. So this is my today's location. Say write txt txt. Here we will perform write operation. See here I am just opening the folder location here. See, oh, I haven't saved it with .py. So I have saved it with .txt. So I have to .py. Now it's okay. You can see I can delete this file. See, so by this line, what we have done, we have created a file test.txt. We have not created, okay, since the program has not been run till now. So when I will run this program, this file will be created. Okay, currently you can see that there is no such file in this directory, right? So I will run this program, a file will be created in this location, and the name of the file will be test.txt. Okay, if I run this program now without doing anything, then what will happen? You can test it. See here, I am just running this program. You get it? So a file has been created. Just see behind test, T-E-S-T. Got it? So just by executing this line, one file has been created there. Okay. So currently I just delete the file again. Every time I run this file, run this program, it will create this file. Okay. Okay. After that, if I want to write something over there, then what I have to do, I can use a function on fobj obj dot write. Okay. Hello, this is a file. That's all. Now, what you have to do, make it a very simple thing, close. So, see here, the basic three operations you need to perform. This operation will open the file, this operation will close the file. These are the two operations that you must perform in order to do some file handling operation. And in between, if you want to write something, then this is the way how you can write the file. So if you save it and run it, you can see that a file appeared test here. Just open the file and you will get the content. See here, hello, this is the file. You got it? Is it
Yes.
okay? Okay. Now see, if you want to write something more, then no problem. I'm gradually increasing this code. Right. This is another line. So I'm just giving these two lines and try to run it. So what will happen? See, initially the file test.txt file was there, but when this operation has been performed again, that older file has been overwritten by the new one. Okay, and now if you open this file, you will get the content, these two lines as a content of this file. See here, hello, this is the file. This is another line. You can see the content is there. You got it? Okay. Uh, Now, in place of giving fobj.write, if you give right line here, save it and run it, right lines, right lines. See, now if you open this thing, just a minute. I want, I do not want to write the two lines with by calling the method twice. Okay, so for that purpose, what I have to do is delete these two things. I can write the file in this way. See, uh, say you can create a list. Say data is equal to. So inside that, I'm creating one line. Say this is line one, and this is line two. You may have multiple lines over there. This is line 3, like that. This is a list. Inside the list I put 3 lines. Okay, and what I want to do, I Python has that function that it can run, it can put all the lines inside this list at once in a file. So if obj dot write lines is the command. Okay, data. Okay. So this data is basically a list. Okay. So you are passing a list to this function write lines. So what these write lines will do? First, run this code. Let's check here. See, this is line one. This is line two. This is line three. So all the lines has been written over the files simultaneously. So you do not have to call the write lines function or write function mm, multiple times. Okay, you can do that thing. Only single function call will serve the purpose. You got it? Just a minute. Okay, fine. So this is the way how you can perform a write operation in a file. Okay. Now, what happen if you want to read the file? See here, you can tell me that okay, sir, I can read the file by just using the notepad. Okay, so when you double click on this file, on this icon, so the content is open in notepad, but notepad is an application. Okay, now what happen if you want to create your own notepad? Okay, so here we will create our own notepad, a simple version of notepad which can open the file, okay, for reading purpose. So what we will do, say I'm creating another program for that purpose. Okay, the same operation, fobj is equal to open. Give the name of the file, test.txt. Now this time you have to pass r for reading purpose. Okay, and then just give this function, fobj.read, and then fobj.cloc. As simple as that. So this will read all the data present in the file test.txt. Now after reading this data, what you can do? You can just print it, print data. Okay. Let's see. So give the name read underscore text dot py. If you run the code, so you will get the data. See here, you are getting the data. Okay, so that read function will read all the content of that file at once, and it will put inside a variable. You can utilize that variable later for your own purpose. Okay, now telling this thing a bit detail. See, first of all, acha, first tell me whether reading a file, writing a file, and opening a file and closing a file is clear to you all. Okay, some of you give answer reply if it is okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay,
Mm,
see, this is the file that we have been created by using this application. This is the Python program. When you run this Python program, it will create the file. Okay. When you run this Python program, it will, what it will do, it will read the content of the file. Okay, now what we are doing, we are modifying this program. Okay, now our intention is to uh, input from user, not not to write this kind of fixed line. Okay, we would like to take input from user, and then we will write that thing, write the content, user input to the file. Okay, so what we will do, see, we can do in this way. We can create a infinite loop. Inside that, say str or s is equal to, I'm asking user to input a data, enter uh, say name. I want to create name.txt. I want to take the name of some players. Okay, so enter name of player. So I'm creating a significant file, or a file, okay, to store. the some names for players. Okay, some players. So when user give input to this query, enter the name of the player. So what we will do? We will FOB dot WRIT write s. So we are sending the name to that file object. Okay. Now see, this is a infinite loop. So we have to make an arrangement so that the loop, uh, when user do not want to enter any more data, any more name, so the loop can terminate. So we can check here if is equals to uh, say null, then we can break. Okay, so we can give a hint to user that press enter to exit. Okay, so if the user do not want to enter any more name, so just press enter. So when you press enter, so null string will be stored in s, and we are checking if s is equal to null, then we will break from the loop. Otherwise we will send the data to the file. Okay, so this is the way how you can create a file where some names taken input from user can be stored. Okay, just save the file and run it. See here, enter name of the file, press enter to exit. So I am giving Virat Kohli. So again it is asking enter the name, say Rohit Sharma. Now I do not want to enter any more data, so just pressing enter. See, the program terminated. Right, now open to the folder and check. See, name has already been appeared. Okay, this file has been created. So inside that file, so you can see there are different names, but all the names are coming in this way. So I am not liking that the names are coming in this way. So I just want that name should appear in this way, in a separate line, right? A separate line. Then what I will do? Say I'm just deleting the file. Although if I do not delete the file, so it will be deleted. That means it will be overwritten whenever I run this program. So what to do? See here, nothing much you have to do. You just have to write one new line for that. So this is the new line. Okay, new line character. So you have to just assign the new line character after entering the name. Run it. Sachin, Rahul, Virat, Saurabh, Zahir, and that's all. Now go to the file. Let's see whether any changes has been take place. See here, all the names has appeared in separate line. You got it. This is because we have inserted the new line character
New line.
entering each line. Yeah, after entering each name. Okay. So this is a more significant file. Okay, so in that way you can write files. Okay, you can store any number of data in a Python file, in a .txt file. Okay. Now if you want to read this file, then what you will do? So let's modify the read txt. See here, fobj open test test. The file will be name.txt. Now what you will do? You can read the data read the data in this way. If we use fobj.read, so it will read all the names together, and it will store the data, store all the names inside this data variable, and you can print that data. So just save and just run it. So you are getting the result here. Okay. So by using this read function, you can read the total content of the file. But what happen if you want in that way, that no, I will read line by line. Okay. If you want to read line by line, then I am modifying this to read the file line by line. So while true, okay, s is equal to uh, fobj dot readline, readline. Now this readline function will read one line at a time, right? Now when the last line has been read, then it will return a null. Then it will return a null string. So if I check if s is equal to
Equal to
null,
equal.
then we can easily break it from the loop, infinite loop.
Check.
Otherwise, we can print the s, or we can do any sorts of operation over on s. Okay, so it is very simple to understand. See here, all the names have been printed. Okay, so this is the way how you can read a file line by line. Okay, there is one more thing, that you can read all the lines but separately. Okay, so I'd like to show it to you. So I am just commenting it. See here, say all lines fobj dot readlines, read lines. Okay, now if you print all lines, what you will get? See here, you will get a list. See, all the lines are there forming a list. Okay, now you can create a, you can run a loop on the list. Say for line in all lines, print line. Okay, so there are number of options in your hand in Python. Okay, so in that way you can also get the lines separately. You got it? So this is the way how you can do file operations using on text file. Okay, now one last thing I will do here, that is, suppose you want to see here, these are our application, these two our application na? These two our application, read and write. So read will read the file, write will write the file. Now the files are already there inside the same folder. The file is already there inside the same folder. Now this cannot be happen every time. Okay, means, so in notepad, if you want to write a file, if you want to save the file in some other directory than where the notepad is actually located, it is obviously always possible. But in this case, we have written the program in such a way that always these files will be created in the same directory where these programs resides. So how to overcome that? Suppose you want to save the file here in E drive, and there is a folder, say my file. So I want to save my files here, E drive, my files. Okay. Then what will happen? See, I am just copying this thing. This is called path. And coming to my Coming to that folder, I'm just opening that folder where it is desktop Python 5. So write text. See here. So now I want that this file will be put inside this path. Got it? So I have to give the full path. Okay. This is absolute path for this file. Absolute path means this is a relative path. This you can say as a relative path. That means this file will be created on the same path where this program resides. So this file is relative since both the files are residing on the same directory. So you are not mentioning any path here. That means it is automatically taking the relative path. That means the current directory where this application is actually residing. Okay. Now when I am giving this thing, this called the absolute path. That means it is starting from the drive and it is getting the total file name, total file path. Okay. One more thing you have to notice here, that in Windows these slashes are backslash. Okay. Sometimes these backslash will not will make some problem. Now, what problem? See here, backslash n is basically an escape sequence. An escape sequence. Backslash n means just now we have seen here. See here, this is a backslash n. That means new line. So here backslash n will be considered as a new line. Okay. So to escape that backslash, we can put double backslash. Okay. This is one structure. Another thing, we can give front slash just by removing this one, and this is the familiar structure for Linux. In Linux there is no backslash. Due to this reason they use front slash. That is a better thing to do. Or there is one more option, that you do not have to think about the escape, just release the escape by putting this r means raw. Okay, so this will be treated as a raw string, means there will be no escape sequence inside this. Okay, so backslash in will not be treated as a new line, it will be treated as backslash in. Okay, so in either of the form you can use the path here. Okay, so it will save this file, okay, in this directory. Okay, let's run it. First save it and then run it. See, enter the name of the player. Say I'm giving A, B, 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 C, 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 D, 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 F, 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 G, 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 and I do not want any more. So now C, come to that. See here, this E drive. Inside E drive, my file. Inside my file, you have these names. You got it. Now the same case, if you want to read the file, if you want to read that file, so what you have to do? You have to give the same path here. Okay. Now here I am using maybe front slash to make this thing both happen. Run. See, all the data has been written. I hope you understand. So this is the way how you can handle the file. Okay. One more thing I can say you here. So suppose this will always read this file. Okay. Now if you want to read a file, the file name and the file path will be taken input from the user. Then you can take input the this complete path can be input by user. Okay, and store it inside a variable just like that, inside a variable, and pass that variable here also. That is also possible. So we have created an application which can read and write the file. text file. Okay.
স্যার ফাইল পাথ আরেকবার একটু বলবেন?
Which one?
ফাইল পাথ মানে
File
ফাইলটা
path. File path basically, when you see here, whenever you suppose here, okay, uh, say I am coming in this directory, okay, inside Python, okay, say here. So this is a file, right?
ইয়েস
Now in this computer, where this file is actually located, okay, just like you have a house, no? You have a home, okay, and your
ওকে
home has an address. In this
হুম
whole world, that address is unique, okay. So if I know the address, then I can easily locate to your house and I can reach to your house, okay.
ও
Just
ওকে
like that, this file, in this entire hard disk, this file is residing somewhere, okay. Now when I double click on this file, the control or the computer need to reach to that location of the hard disk to fetch the content from there, right?
ওকে ইয়েস স্যার
And the address is called as file path. This is the path. This is the path. Okay. This is the path. This path tells you that this file is located in the C drive and in these folders. Okay. Now what is C drive? You can see these are the drives. These are called the drives of the computer. C drive, D drive, E drive. So inside C drive, I have to go to that location, user. See here, that user, then my name, then desktop, Python. So this is called file path. This is the path of this file. You got it?
ওকে স্যার
Okay. And I am telling here that you can take input this path from the user also. Okay. Just like that, when you want to in a notepad or say here in file, when you click in this open icon, so it is asking which file you want to open. It is the same thing when you ask the user to enter the file path, it is the same thing, a similar thing. Okay. Anyway, so this is the way how you can handle text file in Python. Okay, how to read the file, how to write the file. You can do some other operations in file commonly, just like uh, counting the number of words, counting number of lines, okay, converting the case of the lines. You can do some kinds of analysis, how many uh, words are there which are matches with some other words, okay. So these are all common file handling operations that you can perform with a file, okay, that you can easily perform by reading a file. See here, when you were printing this line, so it is obviously not always we need to print the line. We can perform any kind of operation over this line, okay. So we can search a file, okay. We can search a particular word, we can search a particular line, okay. So these are the common file handling operations. Anyway, so this is all about handling a file in text file, obviously. Okay, so another way of opening a file with operation, okay, with open, just telling you, see here, see, this is the write file option. So you open the file, okay, in this pattern, okay, and at last you have to close the file. So there is an alternative, okay. I'm just saving this file. So this is itext2.py. So I'm using with open as FOBJ, then give a colon. After that, everything will appear in this way. Now, if you use with, then you do not have to use the F close, because this is coming under the indentation. So whenever this indentation will be completed, the file will automatically be closed. And this is the better syntax of using opening a file. Why? Because you do not have to explicitly close the file. The file object will automatically be closed once this block will be finished. Okay. The, nothing has been changed. It's just like the same as previous, like that. See, file has been created here. E my file. So everything is same. See here. Okay. So this is another option how you can open a file, just like that, and it is a better option. So use this pattern to open a file. Okay. So next you have, see here you can read this thing. This is easily understandable. So when you open a file in read mode, you can read. Okay, you cannot write. You cannot write. You A for append. This is for append. Append means a file is existing, and you want to write the content after the existing content. So appending means you are just adding some content to an existing file. Okay. Write means whenever there is a file, if the file is existing, then the file will be overwritten. If the file do not exist, then it will be created. So when you open a file in write mode, if the file is existing, then it will be overwritten, otherwise it will be created. So when you open a file in read mode, so it will uh, open the file if the file is existing. If the file does not exist, so it will raise an error or exception. Okay. A means the file will be, if the file is not existing, then it will be created. But if the file is existing, it will not be overwritten. It will be, the content will be added at the end of the file. Okay. So that is the difference between R, W, and A. And R plus means, see, with read operation, it can also perform write operation. Okay. W plus means with write operation, it can also read. Okay. So this matrix will give you the idea about the different mode for the file. Okay, now here one thing you should notice here. So initial position is the end. Okay, see here, after just after opening a file, from where the operation will begin means read or write operation. So for every other modes, the operation will begin from the start of the file, except the A. Okay, when you open a file in append mode, so it will start from the end. Okay, as I told you, that append will add the content, new content to the end of the file. That's why. Anyway, you can go through this matrix. You will understand. You have to do some practice of your own. Anyway, so next is your width. I have told you this thing. Good practice to use width. Next, these are the file handling methods. Some method close, what close will do. So these are some important methods. Close, uh, read, readable. Using readable function, you can test whether the file can be. You can read the file or it is not readable. So it will return boolean true false like that. Read line and read lines, we know. Seek means you can put a position. Okay, what seek actually do, I will tell you. Just let me finish this method. tail will give you the amount of bytes, about the size of the file. Okay, returns the, sorry, current file position, where the file pointer is actually located. Suppose say this is the content of the file. Okay, now what happened, when file is open, something called file pointer, it points to the first byte of the file. Okay, now when you use the read command, okay, so it will read. If you use read command, so it will read all the content, and the file pointer will reach to the end of the file. Okay, in this way. But you can use the read command in this pattern too. READ read, say inside that you put say 5. Okay, now what will happen in this case? So suppose this is the content. So initially when you open the file pointer will point to this location. Now if you perform this operation read 5, so what it will do, it will read 5 bytes, 1 2 3 4 5. So the file pointer will point to this position. Okay, now if you use this tail, so it will give the position of this file. Okay, so it will return then 6. Okay, so this is the operation of this function tail. Tail will give you the position of the current file pointer. Okay, then you have write and write lines. Okay, now seek, what it will do, seek will put your file pointer at a particular pace. Okay, suppose you use seek 10. Now what it will do, if your file pointer is here, say your file pointer is here, so it will put the file pointer at 10th position. So if it is 6 7 8 9 10, so your file pointer will be moved to this position. Now here if you perform read operation, so the read operation will be performed from this location. Okay, so this is the thing that you can do with seek. I need to show this thing to you. This is right. I do not need this file. Read write. Okay, no. I just open this ideally and open a file. Say I'm taking this file. Name.txt slash name.txt raw file, giving the raw string and reading it. See here, I want to modify the content of this. I'm just giving 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Then again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Then A B C D E F G H I J, just like that. Save it. Now see, I just open a file if. Okay, so if you perform if dot read, so what will happen, all the content will be read at once. Okay, now if you again call f dot read, so it will return null. F dot read read. See? Now can you tell me where the file pointer is actually located? So when you read all the content, the file pointer will be located at the end of the file. You can set the file pointer to the beginning of the file just by using seek 0. So now if you again perform f.read read, so you will get again the whole record. This is because that when you use this 60, That means the file pointer is bring back to the first beginning of the file. Okay, just like that. The cursor is blinking here. So it can perform reading the file. Now again, I am doing this thing. So now our file pointer is at beginning of the file. Now you can tell f.tell tell. See, it is giving 0. That means the file pointer is set at the very beginning. Okay. Now see here f.swk seek. Sorry, you use f.read 5. So what you will get? That means it will read the 5 bytes. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 byte it will read. Now if you perform this f.tell, so what you will get? Tell me. Can anyone tell me? See, 5. Okay. So current position of the file pointer is been given by this f.tell. Okay. Now if you perform again, if you want to perform read, say 2 more bytes you want to read, then what you will get? You will get 6 and 7, the next 2 bytes. Now if you ask, so what is tell? So current position is 7. You got it? Now if you want to send your file pointer beginning, then use seek. Okay, the file pointer now set to the beginning of the file. Okay. f.seek. Now from the beginning, if you want to jump to the 10th location, so just like that. Okay, so you can check by using f.tell. Now you perform read operation f.read. See, I'm not giving any byte. Okay, so I'm writing f.read. So what it will do? It will start reading from that position and it will read the entire file. Okay. So these functions are needed when we want to scan the file, we want to do some kind of scanning operation inside a file. We need this kind of functions. Okay.
স্যার
Hmm.
স্যার এফ সিক 10 ওটা স্যার বুঝলাম না।
f6 10 মানে হচ্ছে যে 10th পজিশনে ফাইলের যে 10th বাইটটা আছে, মানে 10th ক্যারেক্টার ইউ ক্যান সে দিস ইজ দ্য ফার্স্ট ক্যারেক্টার না, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so this is the 10th character.
ওকে
So
Yes.
seek means মানে কি খোঁজা. Okay, seek means it is finding the 10th position and put the cursor over there. So put the cursor over there, see here.
হ্যাঁ
So f.seek 10 means it will put the cursor at the 10th location in the file, 10th byte of the file. Okay, so that the further read operation means thereafter, if you want, if you perform read operation on that same file, so it will start reading from here. Okay,
এ থেকে
you got it?
ইয়েস স্যার
Okay.
অ্যাকচুয়ালি মানে পরে আবার মানে 0 পজিশনের পরের থেকে রিড করছি তাই তো?
জিরো পজিশনে যদি আমি এই f.seek এর মধ্যে আমি যেটা দিয়ে দেবো, এখানে যে সংখ্যাটা দিয়ে দেবো সেই পজিশনে চলে যাবে কার্সারটা, যেখানে কার্সার যাবে তারপর থেকে রিড করা শুরু হবে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
ঠিক আছে?
ঠিক আছে
Okay. Okay, fine. So we have to stop here today. We have not completed the file handling today. Okay, I just wanted to make these things very clear to you because file handling in Python is very much essential, uh, because Python is used for handling heavier files, large files. Okay, for data processing, for ML, everywhere you need to handle files with Python. So you need to understand file handling in Python. So here, text file handling we have been covered so far. Okay, the remaining things are the binary files handling. Okay, see this section is handling binary files. We will do binary file handling and also CSV file handling. So we will do that thing in our next class. Okay, so with that we are now completing today's class. Tell me if you have any doubt, if anyone have any doubt. Okay, let me stop the recording.